Politicians are trying to take mileage out of the situation where the blame game has already begun. K.S. Ishwarappa blaming the Congress, stating that it is D.K. Shivkumar who is provoking and instigating people. After his particular statement inside the assembly, the people had come out and hacked Harsha to death. On the other side, the opposition party leader Siddaramaiah had demanded the resignation of a Home Minister who was incapable to handle this particular violence, because it is the district of Home Minister Araganyanendra. He hails from the same district, and its own district Shivamogga had witnessed a high volume of violence from past few days. Remember, after Hijab row broke out, there were protests which was been reported in Sagar as well as in Shivamogga district, where there was stone pelting, there was a vehicle which was being torched at that point of time. And now again you can see similar kind of situation in the district after Harsha was hacked to death in the district, and now the investigation is going on the same.
And meanwhile, as you rightly pointed out, Sagar, there has been a political slugfest being witnessed between the BJP as well as the Congress. We also have a former chief minister that is stating that both the Congress and the BJP are to be blamed. Meanwhile, D.K. Shivakumar has denied all political angle in the Bajrang Dal workers' death. He has also now criticized Ishwarappa. Take us through that back and forth that we have witnessed between Ishwarappa and D.K. Shivakumar as well.
If you notice, D.K. Shivkumar has been protesting from past few days inside the assembly along with the opposition party leader and several other leaders on the statement which was being made by K.S. Ishwarappa. K.S. Ishwarappa had said during the Hijab row that the years to come, probably national flag will go ahead and replace with Bagwa flag, that is a saffron flag, and it might also be hoisted on the Red Fort. So after this particular statement, there was a lot of criticism on K.S. Ishwarappa, and when the assembly session started in Bengaluru, immediately they tried to cash in the situation and protested against K.S. Ishwarappa, stating that there should be a sedition case which should be booked against him, and the governor should dismiss him, or the government should sack him, and or else he should tender his resignation. So these were the demands from the Congress, and they are doing overnight protests from past 3 to 4 days, including weekend. And even today, the session was adjourned in the afternoon when the Congress were not willing to budge the request made from the government, and they continued their protests inside the well of the assembly. And now if you notice that K.S. Ishwarappa has blamed that D.K. Shivkumar is a person who has provoked and instigated these people to get involved in violence, and which has resulted in the murder of Harsha, who was hacked to death yesterday near petrol bunk. Back to you.
In fact, Sagaraj, you also earlier this morning spoke to the State Home Minister, who also gave you a lowdown of what are the steps being taken. Take us through some of the reactions you got, the political reactions from the state authorities as well, and what steps are being taken, and keep showing us the visuals from where you are reporting live for us.
See, we are on the BB Road on the route to CKLE, where the residence of Harsha is there. On the route en route to CKLE, on the way, there is a place called Azad Nagar. When the crowds neared this particular road, they started to pelt stone at the houses, stone on the vehicles, and also torch the vehicles and pelted stone on the shops, vandalized the window panels and everything. And police was quick enough to handle the situation. They acted in and immediately stopped all this violence, and also used the fire service to douse off the fire when this protester torched the vehicles. And emotions were quite high amongst the youth who were walking along with the mortal remains of Harsha, and it was a quite sensitive situation in this entire area. And if you notice that all these family members, friends, and the pro-Hindu organization activists were quite emotional that their friend, colleague, and friend and activist is no more with them. And so subsequently, if you notice that the police was got into action and brought everything under control. Now we can see rapid force action, KSRP, police, everybody are deployed here. And as we speak now, the final journey of Harsha has already begun. His mortal remains has been taken to to Rotary Crematorium, where the final rites will be performed, where even the Swamijis and Rural Development and Panchayat Minister K.S. Ishwarappa, along with B.Y. Raghavendra, who's an MP of Shivamogga, are joined along with the family members and others for this final journey. And even the police protection has been given. Police deployment has been made in every nook and corner of where the final journey of Harsha is taking place. And once it reaches the mortal remains will be buried according to Hindu rituals in a Rotary Crematorium. And meanwhile, what we also get to learn through our police sources is that 3 people are already been arrested in this particular case, and the investigation is on. And they are also investigating further that whether there are more people involved in this particular act of executing murder of Harsha in front of petrol bunk. They got enough security CCTV footage as well as other tip-off in this particular case. Earlier, Home Minister Argan Yanendra, when he spoke to Republic TV, he went on to say that they will crack this case as soon as possible. They have a tip-off on this particular case and they will burst the case as soon as possible. And we also get to learn that he has requested people not to get involved in any kind of violence. And he has also said that this particular murder is not related to hijab. Though his own colleague and Minister for Rural Panchayat and Panchayat Raj, Rural Development and Panchayat Raj, K.S. Ishwarappa, claimed that it is all connected with hijab and it is D.K. Shivakumar who has provoked. Minister Argan Yanendra said that they will try to inquire in all possible angles connected to this particular murder, and the accused will be arrested as soon as possible. Even Siddaramaiah, opposition party leader of Karnataka, who addressed the media in Bengaluru, he went on to say that Argan Yanendra should tender his resignation for his incapability to handle the situation, because there are a series of violence which has been reported in Shivamogga. After hijab rule, now there is a murder which was been reported. Following that, violence which was been reported in his own districts. Remember, Argan Yanendra hails from Shivamogga. He's an MLA from Tirthahalli constituency here in Shivamogga district, and it is its own district which is fuming from past few weeks after hijab rule. Now it is Bajrang Dal activist who was murdered on Sunday night around 9:15, 9:30, and including K.S. Ishwarappa and B.S. Yediyurappa requested people to maintain peace and harmony. And while talking to regional channels, K.S. Ishwarappa has also asked people to maintain peace and harmony, and he said that even Prime Minister Narendra Modi had spoken to Chief Minister, and even B.S. Yediyurappa made the similar kind of statement saying that people have to maintain peace and harmony. Remember, even B.S. Yediyurappa hails from Shivamogga, his constituency from Shikaripur, and many of the ministers and MLAs, especially well-known personalities and former ministers, hail from the same district called Shivamogga. And these kind of incident reporting from Shivamogga is not a good news for the people as well as the ministers. Back to studio.
In fact, stay with us, Sagaraj, and we will continue to stay on the story as well, because this is an important incident that we have been reporting for our viewers as well. And we also know, Sagaraj, as to how the VHP has also announced a state-wise protest as far as the entire incident is concerned. We have seen several of these protesters out on the streets. And help us understand the investigation part of the entire incident as well, and what the police is stating. You have mentioned possibly 3 arrests have been made so far.
What we get to learn through our police sources, this incident happened around 9:15 to 9:30, and once Asha got out from his house around 8 p.m., he was being followed by a gang of people. And what we also get to learn through our police sources is that all these assailants were well prepared. They had well planned to execute this particular murder of Harsha, and they were following him in from a swift white car. And once they reached this particular place near a petrol bank, he was being attacked by these assailants, and they even tried to follow them when Harsha was trying to escape. When he entered the second cross in Shivamogga in near the petrol bunk, that's when he was being attacked from all sides from the assailants, and he couldn't escape from these monstrous assailants who had hacked him to death. And the murder happened in front of a petrol bunk, and the police have already seized the CCTV footage which is available in and around that particular area, and they are investigating who all has involved in this particular crime. What we also get to learn is they had already arrested 3 people in connection with this particular murder case, according to Rural Panchayat Minister, and they also believe that there might be more people who might have been involved in this particular murder. And what we also get to learn is all these people hail from a place called Clark Pete in Shivamogga, and there might be a vengeance which was been pending against between these two groups, which might have led for these kind of murder. And it is all subject to investigation. Probably once the investigation gets over, we'll get to know what was the real picture and why Asha was murdered.
In fact, Sagaraj, as you were pointing out about the investigation, the police has at this stage denied the possible links, and possibly they're still investigating into the clues of what exactly led to the murder. And we are still staying with these images coming in live from Shivamogga in Karnataka, right outside Harsha's residence as well. Help us understand what the police is indicating, and possibly some of the investigating officers also indicate that maybe the Bajrang Dal activists did know the assailants as well.
And what we get to learn through the reaction that we got from the Home Minister of Karnataka is they already have a tip-off on this particular murder, and that is the reason they were quick enough to arrest the first accused early in the morning. And following that, through the investigation, through questioning which has happened, they were able to arrest 2 more people. As we speak now, the investigation is going on, but the police have not revealed who are these assailants who have involved in this particular murder, because they feel that if they try to reveal the identity of these people, the other assailants who are absconding will be alerted on this, and they might not get under their radar. So keeping all these things in mind, they have kept all these people in an isolated area where the investigation is on, and they are trying to extract as much as information from all these accused what really went wrong. And according to Home Minister of Karnataka, Nyanendra, who spoke to Republic TV, was also said that the accused will be arrested as soon as possible, and within 2 or 3 days they will announce who are the people who have involved in this particular incident. Although the Home Minister Nyanendra said that this particular murder doesn't connect with Hijab, but still KS Ishwarappa has blamed that everything started because of all these things. And when we asked him, when he confronted him, that KS Ishwarappa, his own colleague, is alleging this, that's when he told that we are trying to look into all possible angles. The investigation is happening in all possible angles to trace the assailants who had murdered Harsha on Sunday night.
And continue to stay with us, Agaraj. We have seen several political reactions coming in as well. We have seen as to how this morning, how Ishwarappa had also accused DK Shivakumar of inciting this particular incident, to which Shivkumar has also denied all allegations. Help us understand what Ishwarappa has stated. He has also visited Shivamogga, which is also the MLA's district where he is also from.
K.S. Ishwarappa reacting to the murder of Asha, he went on to say that D.K. Shivkumar is a person behind this particular incident. He was a man who made provoking and instigating statement to provoke these people to murder Asha. So he was immediately pounced on D.K. Shivkumar, and he also stated that all this while the Muslim population in Shivamogga never tried to wag their tail, but only after these kind of incident which has come to light, now they started to get involved in this kind of crime. After blaming Muslim goons, there were immediate repercussion from people over here, where large number of people started to shout anti-slogans against one particular community, and thereafter belted stone at people here in Shivamogga district. There was a march which had took place from Megan Hospital, where the mortal remains of Asha was kept, and thereafter from there the mortal remains was shifted to Sigehalli. On the way there is a place called Azad Nagar in BB Road, and that's where the incident took place. That's where the crowd which was marching peacefully turned into violent and pelted stone at houses, shops and torched vehicles, and the police was quick enough to act and try to bring the issue try to bring violence under control, and immediately the crowd marched towards the residence of Harsha in Shige, and as we speak now, the final journey of Harsha is en route to Rotary Crematorium, where the mortal remains of Harsha will be buried in Rotary Crematorium.
And Sagaraj, we have seen and we are getting in these latest visuals as well, live from Shivamogga, where you are reporting for us. We have seen after the attack, several vehicles in the area were set on fire. The police have also deployed heavy force to prevent a flare-up. The administration has also imposed curbs on public gatherings in order that schools and colleges should remain shut. Take us through the situation on the ground and also what the family is stating at this point.
See, if you notice the issues which is followed in Shivamogga district after Udupi, and one of the most affected districts because of Hijab rule was Shivamogga, followed by that Bagalkot and Davangere. Shivamogga had seen a series of violence where students came out in large number and protested against a pro and in a ban against hijab. There was a group which was supporting the ban, and there was a group which was opposing the ban of hijab, and there were also stone pelting which was been reported in Shivamogga district, and there was also infamous incident of a student who tried to hoist a saffron flag. Following that, there was also political blame game which had begun, where Congress leaders had blamed that K.S. Ishwarappa's son had supplied a saffron flag and saffron shawls, and he also had the details of vehicles which has transported all these saffron shawls to Shivamogga district from Surat. And following that, K.S. Ishwarappa had it out at D.K. Shivkumar, stating that in years to come the national flag will be replaced with the saffron flag, which has resulted Congress to protest against K.S. Ishwarappa, and they protested inside the assembly. And coming back to hijab rule, if you notice that Shivamogga had witnessed a high volume of protest and violence, where people came out on the street and protested against a pro and ban of hijab. And there was also stone pelting at two groups on near Sagara, where the viral video went viral on social media and mainstream media, where two groups are trying to pelt stone at each other, where a group which was protesting against hijab ban, the other group came in support of banning hijab. So subsequently there was stone pelting and violence which was being reported. There was 144 section which was being imposed in Shivamogga district, and following that many schools and colleges, especially which comes under sensitive areas, were declared a holiday for 2 or 3 days. As we speak now, you can see that announcement which has been made in a rickshaw, asking people not to spread any kind of hatred message on social media, including Facebook Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Twitter. And they also claim that the police are monitoring everybody's WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. If anybody posts any kind of provoking or instigating post, they'll be booked under law, and there will be necessary action taken against them. This is the kind of message even the police and the government is trying to spread across the people, spread amongst the people, that they have to maintain peace, law, and order in the city. Nobody should get involved in any kind of violence, and nobody should get instigated and provoked or because of any kind of violence or any kind of post which has been generated on social media. And this is the situation right now here in Shivamogga, where none of the shops are open, none of the restaurants are open, everything has been shut. The entire Shivamogga district feel like deserted, though there is only 144 section which has been imposed, but everybody have voluntarily shut down their shops and hotels across the city.